As the prophet of esports, I rely on trustworthy and meaningful data every day. Data from our research partner YouGov offers the most complete view of esports fans and gamers in the world, providing context to who they are, what they think, the brands they buy, and things they do. YouGov's connected insights and research services inform strategy at every level. If you're a team, a brand, agency, or rights holder, you should be talking with YouGov. Their partners measure and maximize ROI and are telling compelling stories with data. Visit yougov.com/gaming-esports to learn more.
And here, a huge name, massive name, maybe probably bigger than Gordon Ramsay even. And we're talking about Paris Hilton here. And the headline is Paris Hilton extends Cardi B an enticing invitation following massive Roblox celebration. And so the article is about Paris's island in Roblox called Paris World. And I guess I actually haven't checked it out myself, but this virtual island has been a huge success for her. And she tweeted out, "Happy New Year" to Cardi B and said, heard you were talking about Roblox. Come check out #Paris World. And the question I had for you guys, I mean, I feel like already living in this alternate reality, if you want to call it the metaverse, where we have interactions between Paris Hilton and Cardi B about the metaverse and Roblox and virtual worlds, which I love. Like, to me, all these small indicators of going mainstream. But have we, like, in some ways, sorry, let me frame this question. Has the whole metaverse conversation that Roblox, Minecraft, and those kinds of games, those metaverse conversations sort of leapfrogged the gaming conversations from a mainstream perspective, right? Like, has the metaverse gone mainstream faster than gaming went mainstream? I don't know if that makes sense as a question. I don't know if you guys know what I mean, but like, I'm looking at this interaction between Paris Hilton and Cardi B about a virtual world in Roblox. First of all, neither of those two stars to me scream like Roblox demographic, yet this has been a success. And the fact that Paris is inviting Cardi B to her virtual island, like, will we start seeing all these big influencers with virtual properties that, they'll be inviting each other to? I'm just curious, where do you guys think it's going? And has the metaverse conversation leapfrogged the gaming conversation in sort of the mainstream's mind?
Lindsay, you can go first. You're the expert on Paris Hilton.
First of all, I told you all that this would work.
This is true. The boss was right.
And Jeff was the one that was like, but isn't she only like the 30-year-olds? No.
I did say that. I'll admit. I did say that.
That's totally also wrong. How you sound. So.
But no, I see your point, Paul, but I'm gonna disagree with you because this is you guys are gonna laugh at me, I swear. But no, this is Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton is one of the first people that was ever even considered an influencer. She was the first one to do a fragrance. She was the first one to turn her like sort of fame into this whole famous for being famous thing. She was one of the first people to get into another line like music. She was one of the first stars to have her own cooking show.
She did music.
Paris Hilton is so special when it comes to recognizing how to insert herself into opportunities that build her brand. And she is incredibly adept at doing this. It's amazing. So I'm not surprised that she's the one who's figured out that Roblox is a good way of branding herself, and the metaverse is like sort of the next step. I don't think that I see a lot of celebrities following in her footsteps because I think she's just a brilliant business person when it comes to that. So I don't think that conversation is leapfrogged yet, except for with those special few people like Paris Hilton who actually recognize the opportunity. But there's very few who actually do that.
Interesting. So you what you're saying is you think Paris is really the exception. This is not the rule.
I think she's smarter than everyone else and recognizes trends a lot faster than most people and has been able to capitalize off that for almost her entire career. And this is just another example of it.
So Lindsay, I 100%, I'm willing to take your premise that Paris is an early adopter and has blazed the trail for a lot of these things. But wouldn't the caveat to that be that she was the first person to have a fragrance, but she obviously hasn't been the last one. She was the first person, to do a lot of these things, but people followed her. So aren't you kind of proving Paul's point that like every influencer is going to have a digital island now because Paris Hilton has blazed this trail?
Maybe
I guess,
eventually.
what do you think about that?
I just don't think, I think like at the current present moment, I don't necessarily think that the conversation has caught up to that. And the thing is, like, more influencers get islands, but also gaming becomes more famous and bigger as well at the same time. So I can't necessarily say which one is ahead of the other at the current juncture.
Gaming and the metaverse are intimately linked. We're talking about Roblox here. Roblox, calls themselves a metaverse platform. They're a game, right? Like it's still a game. And so my question was maybe a bit of a trick question, but I also feel like I never saw the Paris Hilton tweet saying, "Hey, Rihanna, come play FIFA with me." Right? Whereas it was like, it's sort of like we jumped a step. And if we say Paris is the trendsetter, right? The influencer that does everything first. Why was there no sort of pure, and maybe I just missed it, because I think she actually did do something in gaming. Now that I think about it, I'm trying to remember what it was, but like
we've talked about her a couple times, I feel like.
Yeah, but
Animal Crossing, someone did an Animal Crossing something.
If anything, Paul, what you're arguing, I think, where you're heading and what this demonstrates is how much more mainstream the metaverse will become. We know gaming's massive, right? We compare the numbers against film, against music, against all other industries. Gaming, and by gaming I mean video gaming, not gambling gaming, but gaming is massive. I think what this shows is how easy it is now for gaming's main problem is, and my problem also when I've done this, is it's hard to include a football player and do a Madden tournament and watch that audience carry over. It just doesn't translate. It's hard to bring a rapper or an Instagram influencer or some type of celebrity, have them play a video game like you said, FIFA, Fortnite, any game, and really have that audience stay for the long term. So what this is demonstrating to me is it's not skipping a step in terms of, well, yeah, I guess in terms of popularity, but I don't know about in terms of revenue or size, but certainly in terms of what's going to be more mainstream faster. I think the metaverse will be that link to gaming that will make gaming finally mainstream and cool, I suppose, or really that true nexus of pop culture. So I think what you're arguing, or what I'm seeing, is if Paris Hilton and Cardi B are talking about the metaverse via Roblox, others will, to Lindsay's point, because she is that first troop in, or whatever analogy that I'm drawing a blank on, others will probably follow as far as being early to the metaverse, not necessarily early to gaming.
Antonio says Paris is definitely the founder of influencer. That's interesting. I mean, that's huge credit to Paris. I agree. I tend to agree with that, but I think she doesn't get enough credit for the trail she has blazed, to Lindsay's point. Chris says, is anyone developing technology that prevents the metaverse from sounding like a COD lobby one day? Let's keep the gamers out for now. Chris, your point's a good one in that the lines are blurry still, right? The lines between what is gaming, what is metaverse, what is, something you can do in a browser versus something that's a total alternate reality. Just a plug, Jeff talked a little bit about this on this week's the episode coming out on Monday, the episode of Meta Business. This is the podcast Jeff and I do together on the metaverse. But the lines are definitely blurred. So I highly recommend everyone go subscribe to that podcast, Meta Business, and also Lindsay's podcast, Meta Woman, if you want that female perspective on the
more
metaverse.
Paris Hilton content. No,
yeah,
she may be having Paris Hilton on the show.
Yeah,
that would be. I think I would die. I don't know when we'd be able to record. It'd just be me like sitting there silently, staring at the screen the whole time.